Let me start by telling you something that might surprise you. For decades, walking has been the gold standard for seniors who want to stay active. Doctors, therapists, and fitness instructors have all praised walking as the safest and easiest way to maintain mobility and improve cardiovascular health. And while walking does have undeniable benefits, I'm here today as a doctor who has worked with thousands of older adults to tell you something different. Something that might sound strange at first but has the power to change the rest of your life. I'm here to tell you to stop walking as your main form of exercise. Instead, start doing something far more powerful. Something that has been shown in study after study to give you a longer life, a stronger body, and a sharper mind. Let me explain why. As we grow older, our bodies change in ways we often don't notice until it's too late. Muscle mass begins to decline, a process known as sarcopenia. This decline usually starts in our 30s but accelerates sharply after the age of 60. We begin to lose strength, balance weakens, reaction times slow, bones become thinner and more brittle. And while walking helps to a degree, it doesn't prevent these deeper physical losses. Walking is great for your heart and helps with basic movement, but it does very little to stimulate your muscles in the way your body now needs. A groundbreaking study published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that seniors who relied solely on walking for their daily activity lost muscle at a faster rate than those who incorporated resistance-based or multi-joint movements. The researchers followed over 500 older adults for 5 years and discovered that those who engaged in muscle-focused exercise reduced their risk of falling by more than 40%. And even more striking, their rate of cognitive decline slowed dramatically. That's right. Muscle activation isn't just about strength, it's deeply tied to how well your brain ages too. So what should you do instead of just walking? I want to share 6 specific activities that go beyond walking and work the body in a deeper, more transformative way. These 6 practices have been proven by science, and I've seen the results in my patients. Real results. Some of my oldest patients in their 80s and even 90s have reversed frailty, improved their memory, and regained the confidence to live independently simply by switching to these alternatives. The first one is resistance training. I know, the word might sound intimidating, but I'm not talking about lifting heavy weights in a gym. Resistance training can be as simple as using resistance bands, light dumbbells, or even your own body weight. A study from Tufts University showed that seniors who practiced strength training twice a week increased bone density, lowered blood sugar levels, and improved overall mobility. One 85-year-old woman in that study, who had once struggled to stand from a chair without help, was walking upstairs unassisted within 6 months. Resistance training forces your muscles and bones to stay engaged. It protects against osteoporosis, reduces joint pain, and improves insulin sensitivity. It's not just about looking strong, it's about living strong. The second alternative is Tai Chi. Often called meditation in motion, Tai Chi is one of the most powerful ways to combine mental calm with physical coordination. It is slow, graceful, but don't let that fool you. Every movement in Tai Chi engages the core, stabilizes the legs, and improves balance. A study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine followed a group of older adults who practiced Tai Chi 3 times a week for 6 months. Their risk of falling dropped by over 50%. Their balance and gait improved so much that many of them felt confident returning to activities they had long given up. The magic of Tai Chi is that it connects the mind and body in a gentle but deeply effective way. It's not just exercise, it's transformation. The third thing I recommend, instead of long walks, is low-impact interval training. This means short bursts of effort followed by rest. It could be a stationary bike session where you pedal hard for 30 seconds and then slow down for 90. Or gentle water aerobics where you increase intensity for a few moves before resting. The Mayo Clinic conducted a major study where they found that interval training actually reversed signs of aging in the cells of older adults. Mitochondrial function improved, muscle fibers regenerated. The body behaved more like it did 20 years earlier. Walking at a steady pace does not do this. Intervals challenge the body in new ways. They send signals to the cells to repair, to grow, to fight aging at its root. The fourth alternative I recommend is balance and posture training. It might not sound exciting, but these exercises are lifesavers. They include standing on one foot, heel-to-toe walking, gentle yoga poses that strengthen the ankles, hips, and back. The National Institute on Aging has shown that balance exercises, when done regularly, can cut the risk of fractures by more than half. Why is that so important? Because after the age of 70, one fall can lead to a hip fracture, and that one fracture can set off a cascade of health declines that are hard to recover from. Walking does little to improve balance because it becomes so automatic. But training your body specifically to stabilize, to align, to correct itself, this is what gives you long-term safety. The fifth thing to embrace is core strengthening. Now, the word core often brings to mind abdominal crunches, but I'm talking about deeper muscles, the ones around your spine, your pelvis, your lower back. These muscles are your body's foundation. When they weaken, you start to feel back pain. You stoop forward. You lose the strength to get out of bed or rise from a chair. Pilates, modified for seniors, is excellent for this. So are floor exercises like bridges or leg lifts. Research from Harvard Health shows that seniors who strengthen their core not only reduce chronic pain, but improve digestion, breathing, and sleep quality. Think about that. Just from activating those deep muscles, your entire body begins to function better. And finally, the sixth and perhaps most important practice you can begin today is functional movement training. That simply means practicing movements you use in everyday life in a controlled, repetitive way. Sitting and standing from a chair without using your hands, reaching above your head, squatting down to pick something up. These might sound simple, but they are the movements that determine whether you live independently or rely on others. A landmark study from the Journal of Functional Fitness followed seniors over 10 years. The participants who regularly trained these everyday movements were 70% more likely to remain self-sufficient into their late 80s. That is not just data, that is freedom. So why am I telling you to stop walking? Because walking, while beneficial, becomes a trap when it is your only form of movement. It creates a false sense of security. You may think, I'm walking every day, I'm doing fine. But your muscles are still shrinking. Your balance is still declining. Your metabolism is still slowing down. Walking keeps you moving, yes, but it doesn't keep you strong. It doesn't keep you sharp. It doesn't keep you free. The good news is that it's never too late to begin. I've seen people in their 70s, 80s, even 90s add these practices to their life and see real change. Not just in how they move, but in how they feel. Their mood lifts, their sleep deepens, their confidence returns. And with that confidence comes independence, pride, dignity, and the beautiful ability to say, I am still capable, I still have life to live. You don't need to go to a fancy gym or invest in expensive equipment. You can use a towel as resistance, a chair for support. You can follow simple videos or attend community classes. You can do these movements at home, with a friend, or even on your own. But the key is to start. Don't delay. Every week you wait is a week your body continues to weaken. Every day you choose to act is a day your body begins to rebuild. So I urge you, as a doctor, as someone who cares deeply about your well-being, as someone who has watched far too many good people lose the life they could have had simply because they didn't know better. Please stop relying only on walking. Add what your body truly needs. Give your muscles the resistance. Give your mind the coordination. Give your joints the stability. Give yourself the gift of a longer and better life. Your body's not giving up on you. Even now, it is waiting for you to challenge it, to feed it with movement that matters. It is never too late to become strong again. Start today. Do it for your health. Do it for your future. Do it for the people who love you and want to see you live fully and freely. I promise you, the effort is worth it. The results are real, and you are more capable than you think. How does this help my brain and memory too? Let me tell you something that I wish more people understood. The brain is not a separate part of the body. It does not float above your shoulders like some machine wired into your skull. It is deeply connected to every breath you take, every step you make, and especially to how your body moves. This is something I have witnessed over and over in my years as a doctor working with older adults. The moment we start engaging the body in the right ways, something extraordinary begins to happen. Not only do people feel stronger, Not only do their joints ache less and their balance improve, but their memory sharpens, their mood lifts, their focus returns, and that cloud that so many seniors quietly live with, that feeling of forgetting names, misplacing keys, losing track of time, starts to thin out. You see, movement is not just about your body, it is about your mind. And the kind of movement you do makes all the difference. For a long time, we thought that memory loss in old age was inevitable, that it came like gray hair or wrinkles. But science has begun to show us something different. It turns out the brain is plastic. That means it can change, it can grow, it can form new connections even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. But it needs the right kind of stimulation. And one of the most powerful forms of stimulation is physical activity. Not just walking in a straight line, but complex, engaging movement that challenges coordination, balance, and strength. A major study from the University of British Columbia showed that older adults who engaged in resistance training just twice a week experienced significant improvement in executive function. That is the part of your brain responsible for decision-making, planning, and memory. Their results were not just mild, they were remarkable. In fact, those who lifted light weights or used resistance bands had better memory recall than those who only walked. And those improvements continued even a year after the training ended. Why? Because muscle-building exercises increase something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It is a kind of fertilizer for your brain. It helps new brain cells grow, it strengthens the connections between neurons, and it helps protect your brain from the effects of aging. Another fascinating piece of research came out of the Mayo Clinic. Scientists followed over 1,000 seniors for several years. They discovered that those who practiced both strength and balance-based exercises had a lower risk of developing mild cognitive impairment. That is the early stage of memory loss that often leads to dementia. Their risk was reduced by more than 30%. The exercises did not have to be extreme. Even chair squats, leg lifts, or simple balance work like standing on one leg were enough to send powerful signals to the brain. Signals that said, stay awake, stay active, keep connecting. Now let me tell you about Tai Chi. You may have seen older adults practicing it in parks or community centers. Slow, graceful, calm. But inside those movements is a deep neurological workout. Studies from Harvard Medical School show that Tai Chi can improve both short-term and long-term memory. And it does something else. It reduces stress hormones in the brain. That is important because cortisol, the stress hormone, actually damages the hippocampus, the part of the brain that stores memories. Tai Chi lowers cortisol. It also improves blood flow to the brain. That means more oxygen, more nutrients, more life. And then there is coordination-based movement. Think of exercises that require you to balance while moving, or use your opposite hand, or cross your midline. These kinds of movements light up both sides of the brain. That matters, especially as we age, because many of us begin to lose that connection between the left and right hemispheres. And when those connections fade, so does our ability to think clearly and remember well. Dancing is one of the best ways to restore it. Yes, dancing. Whether it is structured ballroom steps or just swaying in the living room, dancing engages memory, timing, rhythm, and emotion all at once. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that seniors who danced regularly had a 76% lower risk of developing dementia. That is not a small number. That is life-changing. Now, some people say, what if I already feel foggy? What if I already forget things? I tell them this: the best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is today. Because movement does not just prevent decline, it can reverse it. I have seen it. I have watched men and women who could not remember their address begin to hold full conversations again. I have seen people who were lost in confusion become more present, not overnight, but steadily, gradually. With patience and the right kind of physical activity, the brain begins to wake up. You see, when you move your body in thoughtful ways, you are also practicing attention. You are staying focused. You are tuning into your breath, your balance, your position in space. All of that is mental training. It keeps your mind sharp the way a whetstone keeps a blade sharp. That is why I always recommend movement that is intentional. Not just repetitive walking, but stretching, balancing, lifting, coordinating. These forms of movement demand your brain's attention, and in exchange, they reward it with strength. Sleep also improves when you move right, and sleep is essential for memory. During deep sleep, your brain clears out waste products, consolidates memory, and resets itself for the day ahead. Exercise helps you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, especially when it is done in the morning or early afternoon. And with better sleep, your brain has the chance to repair, to store information, to stay fresh. Let me remind you, you do not need to be an athlete. You do not need to spend hours a day. Just 20 to 30 minutes of meaningful movement a few times a week can start to change your brain. You can begin with gentle chair exercises, resistance bands, Tai Chi videos, a guided dance session, even a balance pose while brushing your teeth. Every bit matters, every bit counts. I say this with all the sincerity I have. Do not wait until memory problems become serious. Do not assume that forgetting is just part of aging. Yes, some forgetfulness is normal, but there is so much we can do to slow it, to stop it, even to reverse parts of it. The brain is alive. It responds to how you live. It listens to how you move. You are not powerless. You are not too old. Your brain still wants to learn. It still wants to grow. And your body is the key. So move with purpose, move with presence, and give your brain the gift it has been waiting for. The gift of motion, the gift of strength, the gift of connection. Because every step you take toward better movement is a step toward a clearer, brighter, and longer-lasting mind.